What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be doing another review, and this time it's of the 1UP card. Adam over at oneupcard.com sent us this out to have a look at and see how well it works. So basically what this thing is it's just a cartridge for all your cartridge games. Basically it's just an edge connector cleaner. So it just cleans the actual little PCB with the pins on the edge there, gets them nice and shiny again, removes all of these sort of oxidation. Now, this method of cleaning sort of surface mount sort of PCB interconnects like this, where it's actually an edge connector like this. Most people just call them gold fingers, but whatever. The actual proper method of cleaning these types of contacts is to use isopropyl, like what they're using here, and some sort of fine, not coarse brush. Some people like to use fiberglass scratch pens, and most manufacturers, when I talk about manufacturers, I mean like mobile phone manufacturers and stuff, don't recommend using them. That's because what happens is when you use something that's really abrasive like a scratch pen, it sort of, well, that's what its whole purpose is to actually scratch the surface, and it puts little holes and marks and crap in there, and then that gets full of dirt and just corrodes, and it ends up just corroding again like this, and it just gets worse and worse over time. So what we're going to be doing here today is, first up, we'll just have a look what comes in the package, and then we're going to clean some of these games here and see how well it actually works. So that's why I've got them open, so we can have a sort of a before and after look at the thing. So first up, in the package here we have, it's nice retail packaging. I like when products like this come in proper retail packaging. Sometimes, sometimes they'll just send it in like a bubble bag or whatever, but this is really nice. It's something that you can actually display in a shop, and I appreciate when things are done correctly for products. So, you could hang this up on your sort of slat wall hook, and yeah, it looks nice. So anyway, on the back here, just has some information about it. There's two sides to these cards, I'll show you in a second. So first up, you go off with the fluid side, which is just the isopropyl. That rubs up against the thing, gets all the dirt and crap off there, and grease and oil and spit. And then the dry card sort of dries it off and buffs it up. Now, I'm assuming the isopropyl used in this bottle here isn't 100%, so you will have to dry it up completely before you sort of stick it in the console or anything. It shouldn't cause any issues, but anyway, safest, most effective way. Yeah, so it's in this really nice blister packaging. Well, it's not really blister, it isn't actually sealed, but it comes open like that. And this card in the back really doesn't have much on it. I actually do like this packaging. It's very clean. So, and then we'll just flip this out, toss that away. So this is the fluid. You might remember this stuff. It reminds me of the tape head fluid you could get for like VHS players and things like that. And it's also moisten fluid. It just has the basic instructions. So this is pharmaceutical grade isopropyl, so it does have some water in it. It's only 99%. Most isopropyl you buy from some like pharmacies and things, well, rarely ever is 99%. Normally it's 75 to 85. And that's because you do actually need water in this when you're using it in a cleaning application, because isopropyl on its own can't remove all kinds of dirt and grease and things like that. Water soluble things, because you need water to dissolve water soluble things. The isopropyl I use here is actually called technical grade. So it's not like chemistry grade where it's 100%, even though this one's sold as 100%, but I don't really believe it. It's normally 99.9998 or something. And this is a proper proper technical solvent. It's used more in electronics. Whereas this stuff here is pretty much the same thing. It's just has a slight water content, which isn't a bad thing in this scenario. So yeah. All right, so here's the cards. It comes with 3, which is really nice. I originally thought these only came with 1, and the actual construction is really nice. It's on one of these little plastic, sort of like ID card style plastic. It's really durable. That's another thing I thought when I first saw these sort of other people using them was, I thought this was plastic, just plastic with like not plastic, cardboard with like a plastic film over the front, but no, they're actually plastic, so it should last a long time. And then on the back it has basic instructions, which is also a good thing, which means that you don't have to keep, you know, if you run out of this or the label gets washed off or something, you'll still know what to do. Kind of interesting how they went with the ISBN there, but anyway, let's just get into the cleaning. So what we're going to do here, as I mentioned a billion times, but yeah, so to use it, it's pretty straightforward. So we just go here, put some drops on there. That's probably way too much. I think you only need to put a few drops on here. And we'll start off with columns for the Mega Drive. So I'll just pop this back into its little shell here, housing. I'm not going to screw it back together because that would take way too long, so I'm just going to hold it. Now, according to the instructions, this is a double-sided PCB, so we have to clean both sides of these contacts. So we're going to stick it in here. Clean that side. Oh no, it doesn't really... See, if this was screwed shut, you wouldn't be able to get it in the underside of this board, which is kind of a shame, but yeah, I don't know, that's kind of weird. So I guess if you really squished it in there, it would fit. So it would help if these were a little bit thinner. And one other thing to note with these, because they're this size, they don't fit into Game Boy cartridges. What would have been really nice to see with this would be sort of like a half-height card, so it's just, you know, that big and half as thick. That way you could do Game Boy cartridges, but as you can see, it's the same size as the bottom of the cartridge. So now that we've cleaned that, now these are all PAL games, by the way, except for the, or it doesn't matter with the Super Famicom because it's the same cartridge size as the PAL one. And so we get the dry side. Get a good wipe down. It's actually pretty good. Okay, so now this one wasn't that dirty to begin with. So as you can see here, comes up nice and shiny. These are very old cartridges, by the way. They're, what, 26 years old? And yeah, it came up alright actually. It's still got a bit of tarnish on there. I reckon if I just gave this another go, it'll probably come up alright, but that should read fairly well in the console anyway. So on to the next game. And here we have the PAL Nintendo 64 version of StarCraft. I don't know why this game is so expensive. People want like $200 for it or crap like that. I don't understand. So here's the actual cart here. And I'll leave that little plastic piece on so I can put it back in. So yeah, so here's the actual edge connector. As you can see, it has been worn down a fair bit. And on the other side here. So what we're going to do here is pop that back in, if I can remember which way it goes in. Okay, so here's the game. So again, we'll do this with another new card, just for consistency. So we'll put a few drops on there. That's probably way too much, but well, it's just alcohol. And yeah, it fits alright in there. It just squeezes in. So we'll flip that around. As again, this is a double-sided PCB, so we'll do it a bit different this time. What we'll do is dry it straight away instead of leaving it till after we did the other side. Now this drying part is probably just buffing it up as well because it's a fairly, the cleaning the fluid side of this is quite rough, as you can see. Double focus. The fluid side is rough, whereas the drying side is more like a smoother microfiber sort of thing. So I can't remember if I did the bottom yet. Clean it like that, flip it around. And I also like how it sort of gets right to the edge there. I know this is a really long review for something so simple, but I thought I'd be thorough with it. So let's get that off again. And just get rid of that for now, I don't need it now. So here's the actual edge connector. Looks very shiny. Now let me have a look at that with my own eyes. Yeah, that did actually clean it up quite well. There's still that sort of mark there from where it just goes straight into the console, like from the actual, the little leaf connectors in the edge slot on the console. So basically just the cartridge connector on the console. And yeah, it's making my camera freak out. I don't know why it doesn't like lines. So yeah, that one came out all right. A lot better than it was before. And just depending on which way you look at it, you can just see the scratches from where I cleaned it, where it's been cleaned a million times using the wrong things. Lastly, so we have this copy of Hello Kitty, I think it's Mahjong or something. The tiles look like Mahjong, whatever. I think it's Mahjong, the one with the cool little tiles. I don't know. So yeah, so we'll just pop that one off. And I think this one, yeah, this is probably the dirtiest of the 3 or 4 or whatever. As you can see, it's very, I just rub my finger on that, yeah. It's got a lot of dirt on there and stuff. This has never been cleaned. I ordered this from eBay Japan, a couple months ago, and it's just sat here on the shelf. It was in one of my last pickup videos, I believe. Okay, and one more time, we'll put some drops of alcohol on there. I'm not really sure how many drops I'm going to put on there. Moisten fluid pad, it just says moisten it, so, you know, get it not soaked, because the alcohol will probably break down the glue that's holding this on, I think. And this is the Japanese and PAL version of this card housing. So the US ones are more square, but the actual inner dimensions should be exactly the same. So we'll just slide that in there. And yeah, again, that doesn't really fit in the PAL cartridge. I think the US one, it's a little bit wider, but I don't actually have any US cartridges to take a look. But yeah, so imagine if that was actually screwed closed. It would be a bit of a struggle to get that in there. So yeah, it'd be nice if these are a bit thinner. I don't know how many you get that in there. Yeah, that if this cartridge was closed, I don't think I'd be able to actually get that in there. See 'em? Oh no. To actually clean a cartridge like this, I think you would actually have to unscrew it slightly. But nevertheless, maybe if you use this on some bigger cartridges first and sort of wear down that pad a little bit. So let's take a look here. Now both sides were pretty much the same. So this is really freaking out my camera. I don't know why. I think because I'm running in HDR mode or something. So that's the clean side. It's really freaking it out. That's weird. And here's the not clean side. So clean, not clean, clean. Oh, yeah, that's clean, not clean. So what this is basically just doing in here. So here's the not clean side. So we're just rubbing the fluid on there, getting it nice and moist, and that gets rid of all the grease and most of the dirt. And we come across with the drying pad. And yeah, so I think this works quite well. The sort of drying pad does leave some smudges on there. That'll focus. The drying pad does leave some sort of marks on there, so if I just do that again, I don't know if you better see this. Just leaves slight marks, like, so I'll wipe that away. I don't know, it's really hard to see on the camera, but you can sort of see it in person. And that's just, I don't know, it's probably just because they're new. Alright, once they wear in, it should be okay. So yeah, and if you're wondering what this thing is, this is actually a really old bung flash cart for the Nintendo 64. This is what I used for that Doom video a long time ago, but now I actually have a better flash card than this too, and that's actually another review coming out soon. So, and when I'm talking about the edge connectors, I'm talking about, so if we just get, here's another one. So here we get the wipeout. When I'm talking about when it goes into the edge connector, this is the edge connector, this PCB side, and this is just the cartridge slot, or edge connector slot. And see, like that. A bit of useless information, but this thing is expensive. Ugh, now it's stuck. Anyway. Yeah, so a big thanks again to Adam over at oneupcard.com. There you can see. And he was nice enough to send out this little kit for us to review. It was quite some time ago they sent it out. It was a couple months, and I'm kind of sorry about that. It's just life got in the way. But so yeah, if you're interested in getting one of these, I'll leave a link in the description of where you can buy them. I can't remember off the top of my head the price. I'll put that in the description as well. It's fairly cheap from memory. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, I don't know why you're still watching. And yeah, until next time, see ya. Ah, so clean. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, alcohol. Oh, I'm drunk now. Bye.